I understand you not wanting to put yourself out there because I was like that at one point too. Like I just wanted to kind of shield myself away from everybody because I didn't want to trust anybody because I knew from previous experience that if I did, then it wasn't gonna go well. So that's
Deja,
what I
Deja.
Yeah, and I'd like to piggyback on that also. Kendall, I agree with you completely. It was like that for me. Like there's like the certain people that like I would trust. Like they would like
Rise from the ashes. Everywhere we go, our light be flashing. 'Cause you're alive, yes you're alive. You'll be live as you dancing off the ashes. Rise from the ashes. So everywhere that we go, our light be flashing. 'Cause you're alive, yes you're alive. You'll be live as you dancing off the ashes.
I am Sandy Powell, and welcome to the round table. I am surrounded by young folk. I got the young here on platform, and today our show is Young and in Love with Christ. And so today we're going to talk on what it is to be a teen Christian, one who walks in who you are as a believer without shame. And so I want to say to all of my guests, thank you for all being here today.
you're welcome.
Oh, good. And just so we can kind of know who we're talking to, might want to do some shout outs to your family or something. Let's just start right here and give me your name. And if you want to do a shout out, go ahead.
Well, my name is Kendall, and I mean, I don't thank you to my mom for raising me. I mean,
That's right.
you know, my mom and my dad, they're amazing people.
Yes,
so thank
they
you.
are.
Thank you to my brother for, you know, keeping me where I am.
Good stuff. Next.
My name is Markeith, and shout out to my mom in the back in the cap. Hey.
Next.
I'm Bree. I guess shout out to my mom. She's not here right now, but there you go.
She's here. Go.
All right, my name is Dea, and I just want to say thank you to Miss Anita because she keeps me coming back. Her, Marcasia, Markeith, and their two younger brothers and sisters. They're like my family now, so I like to come to church with them now.
There you go. Grab them. Go ahead.
My name is Julia, and thanks to my mom for raising me, and thank her for taking me to church, even though sometimes I be tired and don't want to come. But yeah.
Well, I'm going to jump right there since you brought that up, Lily. Can I call you Lily?
Mm-hmm.
Being a teen believer, you know, and being a new convert in the beginning, it's not always what you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you said, basically, thank your mom for bringing you, even when you were tired and didn't want to come. Would y'all all agree that there are times that you don't want to come to church?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Would y'all prefer church to be later on in the day?
Yes.
Yes.
I say
No.
no.
No?
No.
Well, okay, so daytime is good.
Yeah.
For you it is?
Yeah.
For you, wanted to be later so you can get some naps in, some sleep?
I would prefer like later because like I like to stay up at nighttime, just like doing like watching movies and stuff. So like, and I like to sleep in.
Like to sleep in. Is that you, Lily?
Mm-hmm.
Just wish it was at 12:30 maybe?
Yes.
Okay, see? That's all we got to do, folks, is just get this time down to where the kids can get a little nap in the morning, and they'll be fine. But the main thought that I had on that was that sometimes doing what is right isn't always, you know, what you desire, what you want. And for teen believers, I too was a teen believer. I was 15 when I gave my life to Christ. And it was against the grain of what most of my friends were doing. Would you say that's your position now amongst your closest peers? Are you running against the grain? And how does that make you feel? And I'll just let anybody jump in.
Well, for me, I surround myself with people that are very accepting. So, for me, it wasn't like going against the grain because I am surrounded by people that were accepting. So they were like, "Oh, you're doing this now. That's great. Like I support you in that."
So you're surrounded by people who are already giving their life to Christ, and so basically it was kind of like an embracing your newness.
Right.
Basically, oh, good. That's rare, but very good. What about you, Marquise?
With me, like I keep my circle close. Like it's not really that big. I really don't allow a lot of people to come in because when you let them in, they can either taint you or they can add something good. And I just choose to like only let them in like if they're gonna do good. Like if I know for a fact that they ain't gonna do nothing productive to my life, I'm not gonna let them in. That's
Okay.
just me.
So is your group kind of like her group? Then is they're kind of running in the vein of believers, Christians, doing the right thing kind of people?
Yeah, well, some of them there are Christians, but some of them they're accepting of it, but they don't walk in that. So
Oh, they don't call themselves that.
yeah,
Okay. What about you, Bree?
Well, I can't really speak on that because I'm pretty. I don't want to say I'm close to everybody, but I'm well known for like by a lot of people. So it's like I don't know. I'm different with everybody. I don't really have like close friends at school because I feel like I can't have close friends. Like it's not.
You can't have close friends. Why?
Mostly because I guess I'm afraid of people not accepting who I am, so I just keep everybody away.
Okay. Accepting you as a believer, or accepting you just as a person?
Both.
Both. Well, anybody want to speak to this? Go.
Well, I'm sure there's somebody, at least one person at your school that can relate. And I understand you not wanting to put yourself out there because I was like that at one point too. Like I just wanted to kind of shield myself away from everybody because I didn't want to trust anybody because I knew from previous experience that if I did, then it wasn't going to go well. So.
Deja.
Yeah, and I'd like to piggyback on that also. Kendall, I agree with you completely. It was like that for me, like there's like the certain people that like I would trust, like they would like make me like not trust them. But like my closest friend in school and like now even like out of school, now that we both graduated, is Marcasia, and like she's like a strong Christian woman, and like she was in my school, like Shaw, and so like if like there was someone like that at Shaw, then I'm pretty sure there's someone like that in your school as well. I mean, like there's always like gonna be like those Christian people, like even if like they're like the quiet ones, like they're still there. Like even if like you don't like, I mean like you could like be talking to the Christian person, but yeah, you wouldn't even know it. Like you could like relate to them in so many ways, like going to church and everything, and you wouldn't even know it because like they're shy like you know. But like if like you put yourself out there, well, not like fully putting yourself out there, but like you showing like your like Christian side, then maybe that person will be drawn to you. You know what I mean?
What about you, Lily? What do you think about that? Is your circle of friends?
Well, my circle, well, I have some people that claim that they're my friends, but they're not. And I don't really.
Are they accepting of your announcing that you're a Christian, or are they accepting of that lifestyle as a Christian, or do you find yourself walking against against the grain with your friends?
They accept it, but I don't know. I don't really talk to. Well, I talk to people at school, but not a lot.
So you really haven't had time to express your faith to anybody, anything like that. So it's still kind of in the makings, so to speak.
Yes.
Well, I think that this goes back to what you were saying, Bree, about kind of keeping yourself separate from everybody and not really opening yourself up to anybody. That person that needs to be, or that you want to be accepting of young Christians, it might be you. you might be that friend, is what I think we're talking about today, is being okay with being the believer as a teen. And so you may have to be that person that expresses who they are as a believer and allows other people to be able to be okay with who they are. And so it might be you. You might be that person as opposed to looking for that in someone else. Maybe that's something you can do. What do you think?
I mean, it might, but another thing is like, I don't know if it's like this like at other people's schools, but like at Northside, you have so many people who claim that they're Christians, but they don't seem like they are, or like they do all this stuff that's like, are you sure you're saying what you really are?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it makes it harder to tell.
Right.
So it's like,
So you know that there's a standard for Christians.
yes.
So back to my original thought, maybe this is where your light shines. And you all can jump in on this, because I think that this is what teenagers need to understand as young people. Like when you get my age, you know, we just take a hard stand. Boom, I'm a believer. Boom, that's just it. Boom, I don't have no problem with you not liking or liking it. I'm just good with it. But I remember at 15, because all of my friends wanted to do something else, they cursing or
Right.
sneak drinking and sneak smoking pot and sneak having boyfriends and girlfriends and doing things you're not supposed to do with girlfriend and boyfriends. See, all of that was going on in my world, and I know it was going on in you all's world. See, but at 15, you know, it's a hard road to toil sometimes when you're wanting to do the right thing and all of your friends are doing the wrong thing, or like you said, Christian in title, but behavior is opposite of that. This is what I think I want you guys to kind of talk about. Like, how do you see yourself in that role as a teen? Like, what do you think your role would be? I'm going to start with you. Like, would this be hard for you to do?
No.
Wouldn't be difficult?
No.
You think you'd be okay with some friends walking away from you if you are not down with what they want to do?
Yes.
Okay, you've already had to do that, and it had nothing to do with being Christian, right? Daya?
Okay, well, me personally, this is gonna sound really bad, but while I was in school, like I used to curse a lot, cause like I would do like what everybody else was doing, but then like once like I started hanging out with Marcasia, like my best friend, like I started to like calm down on all that, because like I saw that like I wanted to be like her, like she was like a really really good person, and like I wanted to be a good person like her, and so like I started coming to church with her and everything, and like I really really like it, and so like that's when like I came up to the altar and I wanted to like be like that, and so now I don't curse like almost at all anymore. Like I may say like a word or two like to myself, like if I'm mad, but like not like out loud to where other people can hear me. You know?
So you're learning a more excellent way, a better behavior, how to conduct it.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
this came from being inspired by someone your age who was actually walking this thing out.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, an
But
example.
Yes, but like when I was in school, like when I wasn't like really like I used to just like do what everybody else was doing. Like I used to like curse a lot, but like that was about it. Like that was really the only bad thing that I would do.
That's what most teens do. That's the curse thing is pretty much everybody's practice, pretty much. I don't want to out y'all all, but you know, we all did it, so yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's really the thing that we all do, and parents can't really see us doing it.
Yeah, and I don't really do it anymore, because like she's like a good person. I want to like follow her, and like her mom is like an inspirational woman. So
That's it.
yeah.
Marquis, you
Skip
want me to
her.
stay in line? Don't
Yeah,
jump
you
the
don't
line.
skip her.
Skip the line. I'm talking to the guy. You're the only guy we
What?
got. Come on, give us some insight.
Skip
Give us a
her.
male perspective, because we do know that there's an extra added pressure to me for males in high school. And so with that being said, you know, I mean, even though your circle is small and but everybody in your circle isn't practicing Christianity. Like, how would you, be that inspiration, or because we still have to so-called recruit or witness to others, because good people just don't make it to heaven. You do know that, right? You have to be in acceptance of Jesus Christ. So how would you, to your friends or your circle, be able to inspire, do you think?
I'm gonna be for real, but since I was like a little kid, I never like let people, I say, influence me a lot. So like, if you're doing one thing, I'm not gonna do what you do. I'm gonna be just do my own thing. And I remember like since I was a little kid, like I'm talking like third, fourth, fifth grade. Back then, I was like really big on Christ. I say, I was like showing my friends, telling my friends all about Jesus. I remember that growing up. So like, and plus my mom, like she every day, constantly telling us about
Hammer.
yeah, she's just
Hammer, that's
hammering and things. So like, I don't think like I could ever turn away from that because like 15 years of just boom, learn this, learn this. Like you can't
That's
escape
a good
that.
mama. That's what
Like
that
you
is.
can't escape that. So like, I don't know. It's like
But just tell me, because I think that you said that, that you don't let people influence you. But this young lady was influenced by your sister
yeah,
to make that change. And so that changing agent is, even though she may not have pulled out the Bible and quoted you scriptures and stuff, her lifestyle is what you witnessed and said, I want that. And so do you think that's important for you as a male in high school to have that witness? Even if you're not being influenced, do you think you should influence?
I say yeah, cause there's a lot of people at my school that like just like Brianna said, like they claim that they're Christians, but like they really don't be acting like it.
Right.
So maybe I like should step in and be like, hey, don't be calling false stuff if you ain't really about it.
Right.
Cause if you ain't about it, you ain't about it. So
Right.
stop trying to act like you about it.
Right. And if you do that, right, if you do that, it's going to bring heat,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Not heat like necessarily in a sense of maybe fighting and stuff like that, but heat in the sense of, people don't like to be called out.
Yeah.
And so you got to use wisdom when you do it, because you're trying to encourage them in their walk, but not necessarily embarrass them in their walk.
Yeah.
And so it just has to be a way that you do it. And most of the time, I think privately is probably the best way to do
Yeah,
those kind of
most
corrections.
definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
Most definitely.
What about you?
I don't really know because I have different ways of influencing different people. Like for people who are so-called calling themselves to be Christians, I have different approaches for them because they know what their parents have taught them, because that's who they're really getting this from. They're getting it from their parents. They're saying, "Oh, my parents are Christians, so I'm a Christian too."
Right.
But you can't just be a Christian. Like, that's not just how that works. You don't just, it's not inherited. You have to learn that.
Right.
So for them, I will go to them and I'll say, well, if you want to learn this, then this is how you have to do this. You can't just go about it and say, this is what I am, that just be it.
Right.
And then for the people who are just in the world, like that's just who they are, then you have to actually go through and teach them those different things because they don't know those different things. They
Right.
weren't brought up that way. They
Right.
have no experience in those things.
And I think, too, sometimes young people feel like when you join a church, you automatically are a Christian. My mom and dad joined this church, so what are y'all? We're Christians. But we know that it takes a personal relationship with Christ, personal acceptance of Jesus Christ in order to obtain salvation, to be considered a Christian. And I think that what you tapped on is absolutely true. My parents love God. My parents go to church. My parents are committed to church. And so, therefore, I grabbed the title because they have the title. And you're right, it's not an inheritance that you get. It actually has to be a personal relationship. And I think that the more that you all exemplify the lifestyle, which is not hypocrisy, because you see hypocrisy in your friends, right? And so then you have to consider, what am I doing that may actually be hypocritical, and that may be giving them a different light or a bad light on what Christians ought to be. So what do you think your responsibility is to the faith? Like, what do you feel like should be your responsibility as to your behavior and how you conduct yourself? Should you be involved in any and everything? Tell me about that. You get ready to say something.
I was. Well, if you think about it, because there are even like still, because I catch my parents sometimes where they say things and they'll say like, oh, they're Christians, but then they'll turn around and they'll do something that isn't Christian like. So that could be another thing for other people at school, but it's I guess you have to bring it to the point where even if you see other things, like Marquise said, you can't be like them. Like, you have to separate yourself from everybody else.
Right. And that doesn't necessarily mean physically separating yourself, but I
Right.
separate my thought from what you're
Yeah,
thinking.
the mentality has to change.
Right. If they think it's okay to, now I don't know, I'm going to say this word, but you guys know what I'm talking about. But there's a dance that they do called twerking.
Yeah.
It's popular. It's
Extremely.
teenagers. It's if you ain't doing it, you ain't nobody.
Right.
Right? You have to be able to have enough self-respect for yourself to say, this is not how I want people
It's
to
not
recognize
how-
me as a
yeah.
believer, conducting myself in this way, or drinking or smoking. And like you said, I did too. I had a really bad mouth when it came to cursing and lying, And so those are some of the things you have to, in the middle of doing them, not decide, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be there. And sometimes that happens right in the middle of doing what you aren't supposed to do. You have to make a righteous decision. I don't want to do that. You were talking about, as believers, sometimes we see our parents or something like that doing things or saying things. That's our life as well. It's not just parentals or parents that need to have that standard. We also know a standard too at 15. How old are you now?
15.
15 on the head. So what do you think is your responsibility?
What do you mean?
What do you think is your responsibility to hold a standard? Do you feel like it's your responsibility?
Yes.
You do? I know this one thing. It's hard sometimes to be left out.
It is, especially for me, because I'm a people person. Like, I don't want to say, like, I love, but I have, like, this want to be accepted by everyone. Like,
Right.
if I'm not, it doesn't settle with me.
It bothers you.
It does.
Who else
really
does it
badly.
bother them not to be accepted? Yeah. It's not abnormal at teenagers to have that mind. I want everybody to like me. I don't want to be enemies with anybody. I want everybody to be my bestie friend. I want to get along. Lily said, I ain't like that. Lily said, whatever. But it's not abnormal. I got some folk on this platform who's not necessarily like that. But that is a norm for the most part for teenagers.
Right.
We don't like to be the outside. That's why we dress alike. We do our hair alike. We want the same thing everybody's got, because it's pretty much our way of being accepted by each other, is that we don't want to be different. But I want y'all to know that as Christian, as believers, you are always going to be running against the grain. You do know that, right?
Yeah.
That there'll be times that your friends will ask you to do things, ask you to participate in things that is against what you believe and know. And I want to know, are you going to be okay with telling them no? Yes.
Can I give an example on that?
Go ahead.
Okay, so like I have Facebook, right? And like
Dread is Facebook. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I commented on somebody's picture, right? And like I said, okay, like I said, you look nice in this picture, something like that. And like his like girlfriend like came at me and she like commented me and saying like his girlfriend thinks so too, and oh, I'm his girlfriend. And like I was just like okay, well, I didn't know that he had a girlfriend, and like I'm not like trying to get with him or anything like that, so back off. And like that was like the worst thing that I said was back off. And then like his little sister came at me and said the girlfriend's name and said like her name, why are you putting your energy into this stupid dumb A? And then she said some like her name, and then she said period. And then I said to her like I mean, like, I texted her, like, a long, like, thing, like, that was, like, none of your business, like, that conversation was not between you, and was, like, you were not involved in that,
Right.
and I said that you can back off, too, and I said that your comment was uncalled for, and then, like, the guy who's, like, it was, like, this whole big mess.
Because you made a comment that the guy looked nice.
Yes, but, like, the whole thing started was, like, I didn't know that he had that he was in a relationship. I mean, like, I didn't take time to, like, look at his profile or anything. And then, like, it's just, like, that one little comment, like, it was, like, a small comment. And then, like, it was, like, this whole drama. But what really made me upset was that this girl that wasn't even involved in the conversation called me a stupid dumb A just because I didn't know that he was in a relationship. And,
Okay,
like,
so this is the part. This is the
and,
part
like-
that to me, this is where you have to take a deep breath. Because when you get older, there are going to be grown women who will call you out of your name. I hate to tell you. I hate to tell you that at 56 years old, they may not call me to my face. But I'm pretty sure folk are calling me out my name. And this is the part where you have to be able to make those decisions, what is right to do and what is not right to do. And I think sometimes the dialogue that happens on Facebook is like texting. You can't text and figure out a problem by text. You can only do that by face-to-face, so you can know expression. So if I were you, just a little nugget of just wisdom is, sometimes you got to throw your hands up and say, my bad. Not back off, just my bad. Yeah.
I said I told the guy whose post I commented on, and I said like I apologize for like my comment and like the drama it caused, and he was like that's okay. And then the old me, like if I like hadn't met Marcasia and like I hadn't like came to this like nice family, then I probably would have cursed her out. Like I probably would have like shot back at her. But you see, like me being like
doing the right thing.
yes, better now. Like I didn't do that, and like
Right.
I just said I apologize. And then like the girlfriend, like she messaged me on Messenger, and like it was like a nasty message.
So
and
let
like
me
I
ask you
just blocked
something.
her.
Let
Like
me
I
ask
didn't
you
say
something.
anything back.
Let me ask you something really quick. Let's say, and this happens, let's say that you had to witness. We will see you all next week at the round table, and we'll have another great topic.